Hi, and welcome in Line by Line. And we have a special guest today, Ezra. Welcome, Jude.
Hey guys.
and Manuel. Hi. We are analyzing an interesting song by Dead Milkmen called "Meaning of Life," right?
Secret of Life.
Oh, "Secret of Life."
All right. The Secret of Life by Dead Milkmen. This was the album was called Soul Rotation, 1992. Okay. I saw a cigar-shaped flying ship. It landed outside on my lawn. You poked your head out of a door. You said, "Hurry up, get on." I'd never seen this sight before. The world became a shrinking ball. I asked where you were taking me. You said, "Shut up and you will see." Waves of time, they rocked us back and forth. There's no telling if we'll stay on course. We raced across the galaxy, away from all our ugliness. I felt beautiful and free, out where the devil can't exist. I felt a burst of energy. Hot white light poured from both your eyes. We sped into infinity. I felt beautiful and free. Waves of time, they rocked us back and forth. There's no telling if we stayed on course. I felt beautiful and free. Now I'm no longer in my life. I've left all my friends behind. Now letters don't get past my door. Don't want to read them anymore. You took me to another world where time ceases to hold sway and computers contain the missing key to life's most sacred mystery. The secret of life is no secret at all, for secrets hold death and lies only build walls.
Yeah, that's deep. Why did you choose this song, Ezra?
Just one of my favorite songs. And there's a few by this band. The singer is, he called himself Joe Jack Talcum. He has a few songs that I think of as being perfectly written. And I think this might be one of them.
Yeah, so you
until we pick it apart.
Yeah, here we come. I saw a cigar-shaped flying ship. It landed outside on my lawn. You poked your head out of a door. You said, "Hurry up, get on."
Well, one of the first things that jumps out to me is some potentially homoerotic imagery, but maybe that's just me. Maybe a cigar is just a cigar.
Why is it homoerotic?
The cigar-shaped, phallic symbol, and poking your head out the door, perhaps. But, you know, Freud said sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. So perhaps I'm reading that into the song.
Yeah, I get the sexual bit, but I didn't get the homo bit.
Well, just because it was sung by a man. So I guess I'm imposing that. Could be from a woman's perspective as well. But, you know, we got this UFO thing going on. I'm not sure if there were reports of a cigar-shaped UFO before recently. But
no, that's a new thing.
Yeah, I don't remember that
like just a couple of years
happening in the past. But we got this, you know, the UFO that comes down and lands on your lawn, and you're being invited into this this other, you know, this futuristic or alien spacecraft. What do you guys got?
Yeah, so so it's interesting, right? Like the mentioning of the shape of the ship, but yeah, you're right. Like there's a sexual undertone there, which isn't really obvious why it's there. And then outside on my lawn, right? So there's a sort of an invasion of personal space, and then there's an imposition of haste. Right? Hurry up. So there's this sense where you don't get the time to make a well formed decision, right? It's like, yeah, I got the tools, and you either get on or you don't. And it's implied that you already agree, right? Because it's not even a question. It's just get on. So yeah, that's what I got.
Definitely.
I think all of the ships that humans build that are capable of traveling into outer space are cigar-shaped. Like every single one of them. I have not seen like flying saucers that are UFO kind of, they're usually round, or like they mastered no gravity thing somehow. But everything that is built by human is cigar-shaped. Then outside on my lawn, yeah, he can mean literally. Okay, I'm not going there.
So, I didn't see that.
That's what I saw. It's like I just saw it, and you're like, hurry up, get on. Like it's so she invites him into this adventure. And yeah, I think it's the neighbor that invited him into adolescence. That's what he just like poetically portrayed in that sentence.
I think that's interesting that it's if all man-made ships are cigar-shaped, then it suggests it's a terrestrial spacecraft. So it's like this is going to be a human person who is just so much more advanced than you. Like you're just at your house and then landing on your lawn, you know, it's like a SpaceX rocket, like, let's go.
I mean, it's the general idea that shape is piercing through stuff.
Right, like this, like you met a person that's like they're on a rocket trajectory, and you can either attach yourself to them or miss the chance.
So I'm just going back to the sexual part, because I see it now, right? Like so someone put down their pants, and then there's the cigar-shaped ship, and what's the lawn, right? Like it's the pubic hair. So the ship is landing on the pubic hair, and then you poke the head out, and then it's like, let's get it on. So yeah, that's definitely there. Okay, let's go
I'm not
on.
dignifying that with an answer. I'm sorry.
Well, there's no need. There's an answer in the song. I've never seen the sight before. The world became a shrinking ball. I asked where you were taking me. You said, shut up, and you will see.
I think it's interesting, though, this connection between the sexuality, because, you know, I mean, there's a like, there's a sense of adventure to perhaps any kind of, you know, and if it's, I never seen this site before, if it's like a new kind of experience, but also I'm thinking, you know, it is sung by a man. There's some homo, so you could interpret it as homoerotic. And in 1992, especially, it's sort of like, you know, there's a connection to it being almost extraterrestrial, because it's kind of an outsider sexuality that he's being invited into. And then also we're talking about the sight of the world becoming a shrinking ball. Like, so now the experience is being connected to the experience of astronauts when they see the the world becoming more like you know, a blue dot. And we've like heard astronauts speak about that experience, and it's not like an alienating experience usually. It's usually described as a very profound like understanding or comfort.
So I'm just gonna keep on riding the sexual train. Yeah, never seen the site before. Like that's definitely a surprise. It's also a new experience in some sense. And then what I got with the world became a shrinking ball. I haven't done poppers, but like I'm fairly certain that when you do poppers, like you withdraw from the world, right? So the world like shrinks.
Zooming out
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, there's a dissociation happening there for sure. So yeah, you can look at it like that, and then where are you taking me, right? It's like now you're in this, whoa, what's going on? Like, what did you just do with me? Like I'm in this crazy space, which is also in some sense analogous to the outer space, right? And then shut up and you will see is like, okay, like just enjoy it, right? Like just enjoy the ride. So yeah, I do see the, if my poppers thing is correct, I see the gay vibes and the sexual thing in it.
I don't know, don't see it other vibes than just like one neighbor took into adolescence some fresh dude. Don't know the gender. Just like that's what I read. And if the world becomes a shrinking ball, this means like everything other is just being zoomed in somehow. Like and the rest is just disappearing because you're zoomed in into that one experience, whatever is going on. I mean, the way the song is written, I think that person is very happy to undergo this experience. So that's positive.
I also think you could read that the shut up and you will see is like, you know, there's a confidence to this other person. They landed in your space. They came to your lawn and they're saying, you know, hurry up, get on, like we gotta go. And like, you're gonna see, you know, why this is the thing to do, why this is the place to go, you know?
Yeah, there's a non-equal relationship there, where like there's a teacher and a student relationship. I've been these ways before, and you're new.
It's the more experienced person, the more knowledgeable person. It's making me think a little bit of the Hole of the Moon, the last song we did. There's some crossover.
Waves of time, they rock us back and forth. There's no telling if we'll stay on course.
I like how he's just like already so he's participating in the experience. It's not one person showing. He's like, we are in that boat together. Kinds waves.
In this flying ship.
It's interesting, ways of time rock us back and forth, which is just sort of a, you know, different kind of an idea. Time and space, you know, being connected. It sounds kind of, you know, it just sounds out of this world, or, you know, some kind of out there experience. And then the no telling if we'll stay on course. It's like, I know it seems like it's going at such a speed, or there's a kind of danger now to it. Like it's unclear where we're headed or if we'll get there, you know. So I feel like an element of danger is introduced there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like the swapping of navigating space, which is something that we're familiar with, to navigating time. Well, what do you need in order to navigate time? Well, you need to have relationships in some sense, right? Like what is the navigation of time? The maintenance of a relationship in some sense. And part of that is upkeep, and there's ups and downs, right? Like if you use a dish, right, like you make it dirty, right, and then you have to clean it again, and so there's these cycles that we enter into when we're navigating the time, and that's also in a relationship, right? Like so there's many ways you can get too close, you can get too distant, and then you need to repair it.
Could it be generational difference?
What do you mean?
Like waves of time rock us back and forth if they have generational gap.
That's also funny. Yeah,
and then there is like SpongeBob, Bob Dylan, SpongeBob, Bob Dylan.
I'm also thinking now about how time sort of carries us along. Mm-hmm. Like we have to navigate space, but time it carries us along. So it's almost like now it's taking on its own momentum, or they're being carried along by the relationship now.
Right. And yeah, like the momentum itself is like, well, what does on course mean, right? Like when we're in a relationship and we're going forward, right? And I think there's an element of unpredictability in the unfolding of time where you just, yeah, it's unintelligible. No more SpongeBob jokes, like. Well, SpongeBob was no, I don't have one either. We raced across the galaxy, away from all our ugliness. I felt beautiful and free, out where the devil can't exist.
So I guess it's a teenager with very low self-esteem and an ugly older neighbor.
That they make each other feel beautiful, right? By being together, you feel different. You see yourself through the other's eyes, then you feel different about yourself. And then bring in the devil. Again, like my mind goes to maybe the homosexuality, especially in the 90s versus now, but still this thing of the shame, the devil, like the Christian devil doesn't like you, or is trying to, you're going to be shamed as if you're of the devil for your sexuality. But yeah, out in space, definitely. It's like that doesn't matter. When we're together in the thing and the community or society isn't there, and I like that the devil can't even exist out here. Like the reality of what it is disproves that narrative, the shame or whatever that they may have felt connected to. Is like that can't exist when we're together. That's what I'm getting from that.
Oh, I'm getting it.
You're really close. No, I actually agree with Ezra here.
Okay, let's see what I got. So racing across the galaxy is the place that you haven't explored, right? So you're exploring new things, away from all our ugliness, right? So it's in the newness, they're finding the beauty and the freedom in the exploration. And then out where the devil can't exist. Well, where can't the devil exist? right? Like in love. Love is the place where the devil can exist. So they're in love. It's a really beautiful way to say we're in love.
I agree with that too. It's like the more universal thing being communicated, you know? Like this love is, like love, real love is pure and good.
Mm-hmm.
There's no devil in it. Unless in like a fun way. It depends how you interpret it.
Come on, Nodrik, you have to have something about this.
Yeah, I actually think they escaped into this imaginary world away, and like, let's imagine it's a rocket, and nobody sees us, and we are now in this space, and there is not even devil. Look, and we are beautiful here in that imaginary space. So it feels like they're doing something that at least one of the person, the singer, is ashamed of. And the singer is like making up all those stories around it. Not sure if it's love though. Like, I think it's the more or less infatuation thing, newness, plus denial. Or like, that's what I read.
It does seem like more of a feeling that is being described, right? The feeling that the devil can't exist. Maybe not the objective, like this is so good that, you know, like objective, like this is the good and thus, you know, is pure and right, versus the feeling of like this is pure and right.
Yeah, I don't think there's an objective place where the devil can exist. So I think you're correct on that one. I felt a burst of energy. Hot, white light poured from both our eyes. We sped into infinity. I felt beautiful and free.
So, you know, along the sexual reading, this seems like, you know, the orgasm. This seems like the pinnacle of this like momentum, and the speeding into infinity, you know, it's like they went to light speed, you know, now light speed or something. Just picturing Star Wars when they go to hyperspace there. And then I think it's interesting that he brings back the I felt beautiful and free. Mm-hmm. So it emphasizes that. We mentioned ugliness, so it's like to really feel beautiful, and then to repeat it again makes it seem like it's almost like at first I feel beautiful and free, and now it's almost like maybe I am beautiful and free. Like
I think it's acceptance. Like he finally can feel whole with himself. Before that, he lived in shame, but now there is acceptance here. And also feeling beautiful does seem a byproduct of love. Like people who are in love, they see everything beautiful. And free as well, I finally am unchained in a sense. Like, so apparently he longed for it before. And now it happened, and now he's beautiful and free. Which, like that sentence, I find very nicely written. Yeah, we spent
me too.
into infinity. That's a nice
I
sentence.
think at the start they say the freedom comes from outside, right? So the galaxy, the exploration, the getting away, right? Like there's an escape, and then the burst of energy is the inside. The white light is a transformative aspect, right? And escaping into infinity. I see that in some sense you can do the sexual release, right? Where you're now relaxing, but there's also a sense of experiencing the potential or something, right? Like and being in relation to it, right? So there's the transformation allowed a new engagement, and so that's the inner beauty in contrast to the outer beauty, or participating in the outer beauty.
I also feel like with the when he repeats "I felt beautiful and free," it's like if you think of that like kind of the post-release or that post that moment. So when that moment starts to be in the past, it becomes not just I'm feeling this thing, but it becomes realizing I can feel like that, which is a sense of agency. Like I could feel like this again. Maybe, you know, like there's a joy or different, you know, feelings are now open to him. He realizes he can feel them for the first time.
It's liberation. That's the word that I. Waves of time, they rock us back and forth. There's no telling if we stayed on course. I felt beautiful and free.
So the no telling if we'll stay on course is now in the past tense. There's no telling if we stay on course, which again calls to this like they went on the journey and now it has happened. It has started to be in the past, which again, like talking about hitting the pinnacle and the sort of the orgasm of the, you know, the arc of the thing. Now we're coming down. Like, did we stay on course or not? And then again, he's repeating, I felt beautiful and free, which to me just continues on what we've been saying, which is like, or what I've been saying, that you know, at first you feel beautiful and free, and then the more you feel it through the experience and sort of in that halo after the experience, and now even looking back on the experience, it's like I still feel that. It's like it's becoming part of his identity. Like now I am beautiful and free versus just, you know, feeling that way or hoping.
So I'm connecting the staying on course with the cigar-shaped flying ship. And when you're on a rocket, right, like it's just a massive power that's propelling you forward, right? And you just start the chain reaction, and in some sense you just have to wait it out, right? Like you don't have much agency in being on the ride. So I do feel like there's something like that, right? Okay, we set something in motion. We don't know truly what it is, but we're on it, and now we got to deal with it. And so the waves of time are still rocking, right? So in some sense, they're still in the journey, but they're also at a place now, right? Because there's a reflection happening, right? Like there is a way to understand your past trajectory, but you're still going forward as well.
Yeah, that makes me think of like going to light speed, or like going through a wormhole or something and being propelled at this incredible speed, or being on the rocket and the burn of the rocket when the engines, and then it's like that ends, it runs the fuel out or whatever, and then it's like, you know, where are we? And you have to check the star map and like, did we arrive at where we thought we were and stuff.
Robot, tell me where we are.
Well, I just think he's trying to convince himself that he enjoys the moment. Okay, let's read further.
Okay. Now I'm no longer in my life. I've left all my friends behind. Now letters don't get past my door. Don't want to read them anymore.
I do think there's different ways that you could interpret this part, because and it's not clear if it's positive or negative, because to be no longer in your life, you know, in a sense, this could be like I've become addicted to this person, you know, and now I don't leave and my house, and I don't want to talk to anyone. All I want is this this new thing I found. But it could also be like it's transformed your identity so much that like you don't belong in your old life anymore, because that was like the life for the other you, and you've been so transformed that it's like, I don't want these friends. I don't want, you know, the mail. I don't know where the letters come in, but you know, like what I was interested in before, you know, it's like I've lost interest in that. I can't, maybe even like I can't go back to that old life anymore. And if we follow like the kind of sexual awakening of the song, it could be like, it could just be sexuality at all coming online, or this kind of like becoming an adult in a certain way, or opening up to certain like the aspects of your life. And it's like, I can't go back to being a kid anymore. I can't go back to, you know, I can never go back, basically, which, like I said, could be negative or positive in a way.
Yeah, so I don't get the sense that he can't go back. I do feel like he's in a different place, right? Like, and maybe physically as well, right? Like if we take the rocket ship and he's somewhere in the universe, right? Like,
Yeah.
He's disconnected, right? And whether he's emotionally disconnected as well, well, the letters don't get past my door. So they're being held up by something, right? Like, is that him, or is that because they don't have his address? And so there's two things, right? Leaving the friends behind and don't want to read the letters, and those two things. Why are we laughing?
Sorry, sorry.
just
It's my own
thought he moved in
projection.
with the
Like
neighbor.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because to me these all sounds positive, and then I'm understanding like, oh yeah, that, I mean, like if you, if you like your life and your friends and everything, like my first thought is like,
Oh.
you know, that could be good. You know, maybe these aren't the friends for you. Maybe this isn't the life for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's just transformation.
Right. But so in both those lines, there's an affirmation, right? Like, so I did that, and I don't want to. So he's choosing this new place, and he's choosing the dissociation from his past, right? So you could put the positive spin on that because it's voluntary, right? But you can also say the negative spin, right? It's like, okay, I changed, and they didn't like how I changed, and now they're reminding me of my past self, and I don't want to engage with that fact. So yeah, there's many ways to take that.
I just thought he moved in with his neighbor. Like, that's it. His friends just can't find him. He physically removed himself from his life.
They share a mailbox.
Let's go. Let's take a rocket to my place. Like that's what literal and he's like, because he has a musical artistic mind, that's how he envisioned it, in poetic way, and the reality was slightly different. And he was like, I would go back and read all your messages, guys, but I don't wanna. He doesn't want it though. Like I think he likes because he affirmed himself of awesomeness of the situation. So he's just like, if I will read all of your letters, I will find out the truth. And I don't wanna. I want to be in the bubble of my imagination, whatever. Because if he will read it, they will knock him out of there. And that's what happened. So he escaped the opinion of his friends in order to still be there. That's what
it makes me think of that, like the moment where it's like you could be in a sense like in your imagination, you know, or like an imaginal realm. And then there can be like a tipping point where this actually seems more real. Like it started as like a fantasy, but now it's become my reality. And, you know, my old life seems like a lie.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I got another way to look at it, right? It's through the drugs frame. And it's like, okay, like now I am in my drug world, right? Like I totally disconnected from the outside. I don't want to read the red letters. I don't want to meet my friends. I just want to get high.
I can also see like this, like maybe it's like I got turned on to psychedelics and like all this stuff you're writing me about, like it's not relevant to me anymore because, you know, I'm on this like godlike plane or something, which could have some validity or not.
Yeah, it might. There can any ways to interpret the rocket ship.
Cigar. Anyway, like weed. Back to the weed.
Yeah, maybe it was about weed. We missed it. He said lawn.
It's the
grass.
lawn.
No, it's true. That's true. Yeah.
Devil can exist, man. Okay. You took me. You took me to another world where time ceases to hold sway, and computers contain the missing key to life's most sacred mystery.
Well, now I feel like I can retroactively go back to the whole song and see it could be sexuality, it could be, you know, weed, you know, like his neighbor said, hey man, try this cigar.
And let me show you the adult content on my computer. Like literally.
He was abused.
Like I actually, and the guys like keep repeating, I am beautiful. It's okay. It's okay. Devil doesn't exist here. Like, is it? That's what happy feels like.
Yeah, maybe his neighbor just had like the new rocket game on his computer. They're playing this game.
It's like,
hey,
okay,
he's just really into video games.
He's like No Man's Sky or something.
Like I don't want to hang out in real life and like, you know, pay my bills. I just want to, you know, play this video game all the time.
Who would ever do that?
But I am seeing that. I am seeing a real connection though with the drug element or the kind of psychedelia of the time ceasing to hold sway, stopping time. And, you know, it's not that I interpret it literally like that, but it's that, again, it's like his mind has been bended. Like he didn't know that it was even possible to think this way or maybe feel this way. And, you know, and then the computers contain the missing key. It's like, yeah, I mean, for one thing, I think of like being stoned and like, or on psychedelics and he's like paranoid. He's like, you know, computers, man, like computers, you know, or it's like his neighbor gave him Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you know, and he's like 42, man, like that's the answer. It also though makes me think of like he had his friends in his town, and I'm from a very small town. I'm thinking like he had his friends from his like small town. They're very backwards. They're not open to things in society. And he meets somebody who's, you know, queer and out there, and it's like, you know, got the good drugs or whatever. And he's like, there's this whole other world outside of this, you know, farm town. And then the computers in there, I'm like, you know, maybe this person was like passing through and now they're on like instant messenger and they're talking to each other, or it's like us meeting on the Vervaeke Discord. And it's like, man, this is like the secret to life is, you know, in the Vervaeke Discord. And like, I don't want to answer my terrestrial or like my mail, my physical mail. Like I want to talk to people, you know, all over the world who are, you know, more open and enlightened than my physical environment.
Yeah, I got Fear and Looting in Las Vegas vibes when you said the guy going into the town. Yeah, he took me to another world. It's definitely referencing back to no longer being in his past life. And then the time again, like he keeps coming back to it. He's talking waves of time. They rock us back and forth, and now time doesn't affect them anymore. Like so, there's a transcendent element where there's a stability reached, and then if we go to the computer. We were talking about the map, right? It's like, oh, the rocket ship is somewhere, right? Like after all of the travel and the force and now where are we, right? And the computers are the thing that have all the calibrations and can find where you're at, right? Like through the internet, right? You can diagnose whatever's going on with you, and then you can start participating again, and yeah, like what's the most sacred mystery according to this guy, right? Like is it love? Is it like the spiritual psychedelic thing? Is it how to get the next epic in the game? I don't know.
I'm also noticing how, again, it's like it's all past tense. You took me to another world. Because it kind of seems like he returned, maybe physically, like he's back in that house, but he's keeping out the mail. So it's like they went on this rocket journey, and I kind of feel like now he's sort of returned, and it kind of seems like that person's not even present anymore. And which, you know, I could even see in the previous stanza, like the I'm no longer in my life, like I could see it as like they broke up even, and he's like dealing with that he's like there's a little bit of a grief that he's no longer on the ride, he's no longer in space, he's sort of like back to Earth, because now it's you took me to another world, you know.
Oh, I actually see it now that you said that. So he's I think he's not talking about his previous life, right? Like where he grew up, but he's talking about the dating scene or whatever that he was in, and he's now out of the dating scene, and he said, well, you took me to another world, and it was just like there was all of this stuff going on, and I couldn't keep track, right? Like it was just like all of this flow, and now like through the computers, right? Like I'm getting my life back together, like I'm getting my shit back together, and that's the most sacred mystery, right? Like you have to take care of yourself.
Or he found out, he looked through his computer or the guy's computer, and he found out that there is some secret, and that was the reason. Lies only build walls.
Yeah, I could see that
Life's
too with
secret
the next line.
mystery.
So like, let's do the next line.
Yeah.
The secret of life is no secret at all, for secrets hold death, and lies only build walls.
So I take this to be the sacred mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that. I could see it like he went through like he went through the text messages, and maybe you know,
Facebook.
like, yeah, like if there was a breakup, you could interpret it like maybe that was why they broke up. He found out, but he's extrapolating like from that that he's learned that the secret of life, you know, is not a secret. And so the secret of life is basically not to have secrets, is how I'm sort of interpreting this. You know, the secret of life's not a secret, for secrets hold death, lies only build walls. And with our like, with the kind of like sexuality reading, it's like, you know, like I could think of it, and we could think of this metaphorical versus literal, but I think of it like I was in a closet, you know, maybe I was in that dating scene and I'm like pretending to be something I'm not, and I can't live a lie. And that's what I learned by this experience. And then I kind of get a vibe of like, maybe this was like a one-night stand experience. This is like in the sexual reading only. It's like it could have been a one-night stand, but it's that thing of your first like homosexual experience, or you know, this alternative kind of sexuality that you've been denying in yourself, and so you've never felt beautiful and free because you've been, you know, pretending to be something you're not. So again, I get that sense of like liberation. But I'm also, I think the reason I like this song so much is because I feel like it goes beyond the like in its metaphors. It goes beyond a kind of like literal reading of the drug or the video game or the neighbor that like woke you up, because now like it makes me think of like Gnosticism, right? Like there's the secret truth that is like keeping us down, but here he's realized no, it's not that there's some, you know, evil you know, power keeping us down that needs to be overthrown. The evil is secrets themselves. Like we need to live without secrets and lies, which to me, you know, makes you think of the psychology of that. Like my understanding is that secrets are not good for you psychologically, right? And the idea that lies only build walls. These things are, you know, like it never affords us to conceal. So now it's like, you know, it's like he had the shadow and it was exposed by this like, you know, experience. And he didn't just wake up to like some fact even about himself. He woke up to this like deeper truth of like, oh, I need to like deal with shadow shit. Like I can't be having a shadow anymore. You know, this is like what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life.
I think he wants to come out and like talk about that. If we go with the train where we would focus on cigar-shaped rocket, well, I don't read in here male with male kind of relationship though. Like I am, maybe because just like it's not how I interpret it, but it is possible. But I see that it's a new experience. The guy was showing new experience, which was so fascinating that he shut himself off from friends and reality, spent time in isolation, looking through a computer, researching things, then decided that there are some secrets and they're building walls, and that's what he blames on everything. So secret of life is not to have walls, I guess. It's no secret at all. Okay, it's a beautiful sentence at the end. The secret of life is not a secret at all.
So
It's a nihilistic thing, I think, no?
why would you
point.
say that?
Because secret of life, he's bored with it somehow. No? Like, not sure. Like, he dismissing it. The secret of life is not a secret at all. Secrets hold death, and lies only build walls.
Well, yeah. Let me give you my reading and see if you remain in that opinion.
Okay.
So, the secret of life is not a secret at all, right? So, to me, that, and I like the Gnostic aspect, right? Like, because the Gnostic aspect is you try to get the secret, and I think that frame is really, really interesting. So when the secret of life is not a secret, right? Like, it's for all plain to see, right? So the problem isn't the secret, but it's you looking, right? So the solution is in the way that you're engaging, right? And then if we go on with the Gnostic thing, right? Like, so the chasing of the secret holds only death, right? So if we look for the Philosopher's Stone to fix everything, right? Like the Holy Grail, like if we get lost in the chase, we don't have the capacity to live, right? Like we're just sucked into the quest, and that's a lie. You're living a lie, right? And what is a person who's living that lie doing, right? Like, he's building walls around himself, right? He can't engage with the world like they truly should be doing, right? Like, embracing the opportunities that present them. No, like they need to get at the secret, right? Like that they're narrow-mindedly focused on getting to where they think the answer is, but there is no answer.
Yeah, and I think of like all that mention of time, the ways of time rock us back and forth, and where time ceases to hold sway. It suggests like a stillness, right? It's like I'm actually calm and still, and it calls to mind like it's like that being mode versus that like having mode. I'm not trying to get the secret anymore. It's like life is right here and, you know, in front of my face, and I was like completely missing it. And also like the idea that the ways of time rock them back and forth makes you think of like the logos. Like, it's like this thing that seemed like an impediment, or it seemed like a force, like time is just like pushing me along, is actually like rocking us, you know, like a baby. Like, I'm actually being cared for and supported by like each moment, you know, and I don't have to like, you know, fight it all and, you know, try to control it.
I get the sense when you're on a ship, right? Like, there's two ways of being, right? Like, one is, well, I'm supposed to be on land, and like this, and you just fall all over the place, right? Or you can participate in the ship, right? And now your reality changes in some sense, right? Because the way that you're grounded, like literally, right? Like, you're not grounded to the earth, right? You're grounded to the ship, and so it all changes, and I think that's the flip that you're trying to talk about.
I also think if we, on that line where it's like, if you imagine it as a relationship and we interpret like I'm no longer in my life, like that was the breakup. On that piece, I take it as like sometimes when I listen to this song, I think of like, did they break up because the other person was like concealing, a secret and, kind of like lied and screwed them over. And then he's like realizing, which seems very wise to extrapolate from that, like, no, this is good. I've learned something. I've learned that I don't want to be with a liar. Like I've learned that, there's
I definitely
honesty and openness is the answer.
I definitely read into that he discovered some secrets and he's like, lies build walls, bye. And it's not a secret. Whatever you wanted to show me now, it's not a secret anymore. And thanks for lying. And then that's it. And that was kind of him looking back at the story and explaining how beautiful it was for him until he found out what it did to him, and that's basically the end. Bitter and lies build walls.
Yeah,
It's a slightly different song than the previous one.
I want to focus on the death part, right? Like the secrets hold death. So you can look at it multiple ways, right? Like the death is the not participating in life, but it's also killing, right? Like the secrets kill things, right? Like so if you hold the secret and then it gets revealed, right? Like now the thing that was is no more. Likely, right? Because there's a betrayal.
Is that like you can't, like sort of why you shouldn't live a lie? It's like I built my whole life on a lie, but the thing about lies is they become exposed and then they're no longer a secret, and then that life you built, it just topples into the ground, which again makes me think of like as a metaphor, like maybe like I'm in the closet and I'm living a lie. I'm literally pretending to be somebody I'm not. And then you can build a whole life on a lie easily, right? This is who I am. This is my identity. I'm so sure of it. And then you have an experience that's like, that can't be who you are, like, and it's like that crumbles. That's also interesting, the idea of the lies as building walls, because it just takes me back to the agency of being beautiful and free.
Stagnant, right? Like walls are not dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Like you're keeping things out.
Like a prison.
Yeah, right. And if we go back to the person walking within his walls or the person on the ship, right? Like the distinction between those two.
So it's much more hopeful. It's much more transcendent than like the whole of the moon. Because, the whole of the moon, even at the end of the song, it's like, you saw the whole of the moon. I still don't see shit. Like I still see, the crescent. Like this is like, I went through this experience and I see this is the whole of the moon.
He's so disappointed at the end. Like he's like, lies build walls. Oh my god. Okay, that's, guys, did you learn something today?
Many layers upon many layers. Yeah, so this was a good example of what a frame does, right? Like the frame of drugs, the frame of sex, right? Like the frame of a computer game, right? Like there's all of these ways of looking at it, and then something pops out. Yeah, that's a good exploration for yourself. So that's what I took out of it.
Yeah, I like how the more you look at different frames, then it's like the transcendent frame kind of emerges. Like what's the universal that applies to all of them? And I think that's why I consider it such a great song, because, you know, that is all in this little punk song from 1992.
I just think from that song, people should not look for teachers and like should discover things together, because otherwise we'll get very massively disappointed at the end. That's what I learned from that song. don't go and like romanticize neighbors. Yeah, and stay with friends and maybe like try to grow together with friends. Otherwise, it will lead to disappointment and bitterness, like here. Yeah, that's what I took from that song. Ezra. Okay, guys, please check out Ezra's wonderful music. I will provide the links below, as well as Manuel's amazing podcast. If you are interested to partake in his project, just DM him. The links I will provide below. And today we have a special sponsor, and I would encourage you all to get it free time. And bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, maybe his neighbor just had like the new Rocket game on his computer. They're playing this game.